Has the RAF been successful? You know, that's a question I get asked from time to time. I suspect since I've been there since day one, they feel like I might have some perspective on that. Because most people identify success by how many members you have, perhaps how many dollars in the bank you have, or how many projects you've completed. And of course, we look at all of that and consistently do. And I think by most of those measures, we've done fine. But what I really look at is what we're doing valuable? And when I think about that, the answer is an unqualified yes. Without a doubt, I think the RAF has been immensely successful and impactful. It doesn't mean we're done, but it means that we've got a good platform and the runway looks clear and the future looks bright.
You kind of go through this evolution as a pilot. You learn how to fly. You get the mechanical parts and the technical parts about flying kind of figured out. And what we find is there's a group of those pilots that go, you know, I wonder if I could fly my plane into this beautiful backcountry place that a friend told me about. They make that trip and they land that airplane there and they go, wow. And all of a sudden, it's a backcountry pilot. And that is our person. That's a person that is going to enjoy recreational flying, that's going to love to go to these places. And they're usually the same people that say, what can I do to make sure that we always have this, because I want my sons and daughters and their sons and daughters to be able to have the same experience. Airstrips were going away at an amazing rate. These airstrips were starting to be closed, one right after another. And a lot of pilots across the country felt helpless. And the RAF and the few members, 6 people, sitting around a campfire literally, said, we have to do something. We can't just sit by and watch all of these places evaporate. We've got to do something. And the next thing you know, instead of 6 people, it's 12 people. And then it's 24 people. And then it's 48 people. And then there's 96 people. And it just grew like that. All of a sudden, we're at 10,000 people who care deeply, that they do not want to stand by and watch all these places just go away.
In the 90s, the trees were encroaching on the runway to when you landed, you almost didn't have wingtip clearance between the trees. Now you look down the runway and it's wide open and clear and it's safer. And that's part of the deal, is you want to make a particular airport as safe as you can for a total variety of pilots that fly all different types of airplanes.
A lot of what the RAF does is we build things. So we build airstrips and we revitalize airstrips, and we bring recreational opportunities to airstrips all around the country.
These strips are always in danger of being closed, so it's really incumbent on us to be proactive about keeping these strips open and using the strips, and also being custodians of the strips and taking care of them and taking care of the lands that they sit on.
The RAF was started for all the right reasons. It wasn't to show off airplanes or show off skills. It was to really just maintain the backcountry for recreation.
The RAF is focusing on exactly the things that you would like to be focused on. Outdoors, clean living, recreation, flight in, flight out, high quality people.
It's different than any other organization in aviation. You get to know people from all over the country. RAF in particular draws people with a real common interest.
The friends you meet, they're not friends for a night or a weekend or a week of traveling together. they become your family. They become lifelong friends.
We really found a family with people that we have something in common, and that's looking for those special places where you're happy to sit by a campfire and, camp out and chat with people that you may never spend time with in regular life, but what you have in common is the great love of the outdoors and just the simplicity of a place like this.
It really doesn't matter what you fly to get here. It's what you do when you get here. What we care about is getting a bunch of good people together and enjoying our activities and having a good time.
Meeting up with people you haven't seen for a long time, shooting the breeze, right? Eating food, sitting out here in the wind and the shade, enjoying nature.
I think the RAF just has a campfire culture, and people want some basic simplicity in their life, but also a simplicity that draws on their passions, that draws on their interests, that has a community flavor to it. It's hard to find these days. We're busy, we're connected 24/7. And then you have this thing, RAF, which just says, today we're gonna quiet down and we're gonna look out the window and we're gonna work together in common purpose and we're gonna do something useful together.
There are just so many great people involved with this organization. It really makes you want to step up and try and contribute even more.
We're kindred souls. You might be talking to a CEO or a car dealer or someone or a farmer, it doesn't matter. And it's just glorious because there's nobody I don't know in the backcountry because I'm gonna go up and say hi. And they do the same thing.
The Recreational Aviation Foundation is all volunteers. It's a significant number of volunteers.
I wish I was a great artist. I wish I was a great musician. I'm not, So the one thing I and probably most of these other people can do is provide labor and, some money and some thought, into trying to keep these beautiful public assets available for everyone to use.
And I said, man, I'll do anything you want. I'll wash dishes, whatever. I'm just here to help.
You hear a nail gun, you hear a backhoe, the backup horn on equipment, but you hear a lot of laughter scattered throughout the sounds, and that's great.
Every single person in this organization, with the exception of 2, do this for free. They do it because they're really committed and love what the mission is about. And I don't know of other organizations, that do that have 10,000 members and there are only 2 paid people. And by the way, the people that are paid are the ones that are working with the volunteers. The rest of the money goes right to the mission, right to the ground, like is what we say. We pay forward by investing all those dollars in these places that we really want to preserve.
So there's ways that you can get involved in aviation and not actually become a pilot. We meet people out here who are just flying with pilots who want a partner to go with them.
It's been super cool to fly around with Dad, and he flies me to a backcountry place like this for the week, and it's an amazing experience, and I'm really grateful that he's included me and my sister into stuff like that.
I can do this with an airplane. We can go places. We can go camping. This is the kind of flying that makes flying fun.
The RAF is an incredible community of passionate people who come together and to share that passion and expose other people that may not be as aware of what the RAF does.
The airstrips in the backcountry provide for internal trailheads so that you can access the backcountry from the inside, so to speak. And as we all get older, we're not able to carry backpacks and walk 4 or 5 days to get into the backcountry. So it allows for a more dispersed utilization of the backcountry.
Airplanes come in and then you shut down the airplane and then you get your backpack or your fishing poles. You don't have miles and miles of roads to maintain in order to get to that same location.
My airplane fully loaded weighs less than a Subaru. When I come in, I make a little noise, but I shut the plane off, tie it down, and then I'm on foot or a folded bicycle. And when you fly over the backcountry and see an airstrip dispersed throughout the backcountry, it looks like a meadow in the middle of the forest.
We have a great group of members who share a similar passion, who are fired up and ready to help protect airstrips and create airstrips. And we also have really great relationships with a lot of organizations like the U.S. Forest Service and the BLM and the Nature Conservancy. So going forward, just continuing to foster those relationships is a huge advantage.
That relationship with the Nature Conservancy is so vital and so important to us. They deeply believe in their mission of conservation. We deeply believe in our mission of saving these places. They deeply believe in a low-impact approach to having people visit their properties. We deeply believe in a low-impact and leave-no-trace approach to visiting our places. And our relationship just continues to bloom.
You know, these people are helping the public land managers who are so dramatically underfunded to keep these public assets open for, you know, us, the public users.
We've got what are called MOUs, or Memorandums of Understanding with Forest Service and BLM. And that's something that benefits all users of airstrips in the Forest Service system nationwide. There are Forest Service strips in, believe it or not, in Florida, so in places like that. But in a lot of cases, we'll work with private owners and public airports to kind of enhance any recreational opportunities that they may have.
You know, whether you're a liaison in Maine, you're a liaison in California, we feel like you're part of a family. And for us here in Arkansas, we're really thrilled to develop the network of strips that we have here. It helps us be a place to go to.
The biggest part about the RAF is we want to leave things better than we found it. We want to leave things better than it was given to us. We want to leave things better for the next generation. So a lot of those new pilots, those young men and women, that's why we're doing this.
Things like the RAF are very encouraging because younger people are finding flying into the backcountry to be a lot more exciting to fly into a beautiful place like Ryan Field than to just fly to another asphalt airport somewhere.
You know, the RAF is it's been a great influence on me and in the influence of the aviation community. I'm on track to solo on my 16th birthday, just like my grandpa did and just like my dad did. I've had so many takeoffs in my life, be it from the back or from the front, flying with my dad or flying with my flight instructor, that it's just this overwhelming sense of calmness, and it's like a familiarity in my body where it's like, okay, you know, this is home, this is where I'm used to being.
When I talk to my 9-year-old, he's got his heart set on being a 185 driver, and you know, his granddad is going to make sure that that happens as well. And so it really links the transgenerational gap between a granddad and a grandson. That thread throughout our human existence with aviation is tied through fostering of one another's experiences.
RAF is a calling card. It is a reason to fly. That organization has reimagined the purpose of getting a pilot's license for many people, or has added so much additional interest to those who already have a pilot's license that it's been an invigorating organization for general aviation.
A pilot, when they land and step out, every single time, giant smile on their face. I have never seen an angry pilot in the backcountry that gets out and goes, I hate this. They love it. And it becomes a part of you, as John likes to say. It just literally becomes a part of you. And it's something that you just want to go back and do over and over again.